From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV. Got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk Jags today. You know, the Jags are getting ready for an unbelievable football season. Great time of the year. Look, I was a guy that was on the bubble for so many times my first season. Every play counted. Everything mattered. Every time I took a step on the field. It's a big time of the year for these guys. Of course, you have your starters who are doing great. Of course, you have your backups that got to find their place. And then you have your bubble guys that are trying to make the team. I was the bubble guy that first year, maybe even that second year. So, man, it was very intense, but a great time of the year. Football is back, and we're a football city. You know, it's funny. One of my daughters, who's 14 years old, she always says, "Dad, football isn't everything." I said, "You're wrong. Football is everything because football is life. Everything you go through in football, you go through in life." So always remember that out there. Football is life. But I tell you what, the Jags been out to camp a little bit. They look good. Leonard Fournette has dropped some weight. He's quick. He's fast. I saw him outrun the defense. He looks fantastic. Taven Bryan, the young rookie from Florida. Man, this kid is big and he's very athletic. They say his first step phenomenal, and it truly is. Very quick feet. We're going to see how that offensive line shakes out. Blake Bortles looks good. DJ Chark from LSU looks very good. And, of course, Jalen Ramsey back in action. So always a great time of the year to talk about our Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll do that each and every week. We'll also welcome some great guests. We have them this week as well. Yeah, no question about it. Jamie Shelton from Best Bet is here. We're going to talk about pro sports gambling. That's a big hot topic in our nation. You know, it's now being allowed in various states. We're going to talk about that. Peter Litsky is here from Army Navy Outdoors. Peter's been in this market for so long here in Jacksonville. He's got a great business, loves our Jags as we all do. So we're going to get into that with those two great guys and more to come, man. We got some beers. We got Tommy Mac's Bar, and it's a great time to be alive. So stay tuned right here on The Horse's Mouth on Buzz TV. Proud to introduce my title sponsor for The Horse's Mouth. It's Ewing Real Estate, a great group of people who can help you with any commercial real estate project out there. Whether you're developing land, you're building an office or an apartment complex, or you need some help with financing, we can assist you. Give us a call at 354-5573 or visit us online at allenewing.com. All right, welcome back to The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV, live from Tommy Mac's. As promised, Jamie Shelton, he's the CEO of Best Bet here in town. He joins me now at the bar. Jamie, great to have you, buddy.
Tommy, thanks for having me.
Cheers, man.
Cheers,
yeah,
cheers.
We go a little ways back, so that's good to have you back on.
It's good to be back on. You know, we're going to talk about, I guess, sports betting, but, you know, if I could have my segment, we just talk about Jaguars. It's that time of year.
I say this all the time. When our team's doing well, everybody's happy. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the uniqueness of Jacksonville. We're a bigger city. We're not a huge city, but we're a bigger city. And when our team wins, everyone's happy. When they lose, they're all in a bad mood. And it affects every part of our lives here in Jacksonville. That's what makes it so great and special and unique here in Jacksonville, in my opinion.
Yep, I couldn't agree more.
So what do you think about this, pro sports betting now being, federally allowed in a few states? You told me off air that it had already been allowed in 4 states. You kind of feel that is it a little much ado about nothing, or how do you feel that now the federal government's allowing pro sports betting in our world?
Well, I think there's 2 things, Tommy. Much ado about nothing from the standpoint that there are people that are supporting the expansion of sports betting that are not as knowledgeable in the industry that you or I may be, right. More so me. It's not the great big windfall that states or counties or things think they're going to happen, because sports betting, as we well know, a lot of people wager,
right? And
the sports bets kind of balance that, and people win, people lose, and the casinos make a little bit in the middle. So it's not a big windfall. From the federal government approving it now for the other 46 states to actually expand and have sports betting, I think it's fine. Yeah. I think people, I don't think we should try to dictate and manage how people want to spend their discretionary income. But that's just me. Some people feel differently, and I respect their opinions, but I think it's great. But understand that just because it's been out since May 14th now, people think because they passed that or Supreme Court ruled that way, now we can go over to Best Bet and place a little wager. I said, well, you can't do that. The state of Florida still has to pass legislation through the Florida legislature that would allow for a framework where sports betting could be allowed. But as we were talking offline also, there's an amendment on the ballot in November, Amendment 3. And there's a new word. I don't know if you saw this in the paper. A judge wrote this, and I haven't looked it up yet to see if it's a real word. It's called trickeration. I don't know if that's real, but a judge actually wrote that in an opinion.
Tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery. And it's really trickeration. And if the supporters of Amendment 3 would have you think it's one thing, but if you vote for Amendment 3, you'll never see sports betting in the state of Florida because it takes all the gambling authority away from the Florida legislature.
Well, just to keep it in perspective for the people out there, you told me that out of all the casinos in Vegas, they combined made $150 million in net profit on sports betting.
That's correct. Last year.
You think it's huge, right? You think, oh my gosh, it's like billions and billions. But when you say that, maybe it's not as big as we thought it is.
You take $1 billion wagered, and I'm making these numbers up, on the Super Bowl. Okay? So you got $501 million for the Patriots, and you got $499 for the Eagles. They like that balance. That's a good balance they can live with. And then they make what's in the middle. So these people, if they win, they get all their money. The casino gets a little bit in the middle. So that's all there is.
If guys were fixing games, they're really not making that much money.
There's not that much money.
I mean, not like you would think. Like, hey, this guy, he's putting, he's going to throw this game for a couple $1 million. That ain't the case. It may be like 20G here or 50G there or something like that.
From the casino's perspective, from the legalized aspect of it, that's correct. It's just that little bit in the middle they're going to make.
That's amazing.
So when you tax that at maybe 10%, that's $15 million. And why would we in state of Florida, think we're going to handle as much as all the casinos in Vegas? And then two, if we did, and it's $15 million, we've got an $80 billion budget in the state of Florida. The legislatures will look at it and say, why would we even go there? We have so many other pressing public policy issues we need to address besides sports betting.
All right, we're going to take a quick time out. But, Jim, when we come back, I've always been fascinated how Vegas gets it right. They get it right more than they get it wrong. And how do they do that? It's amazing to me that when you're watching football games, we'll just take football, or I don't even look at the basketball spreads and all that, but you watch the football spreads, and they're close every single time. And always like, holy cow, something's going on. We're going to talk about that when we come back, getting it from the horse's mouth when we're talking sports betting and betting in general with Jamie Shelton here from Best Bet. More to come live from Tommy Max on the horse's mouth on Buzz TV. The Horse's Mouth, also brought to you by Stellar. Taking solutions further. Check them out online at stellar.net. All right, welcome back to The Horse's Mouth here on Buzz TV, live at Tommy Max. Jamie Shelton, CEO of Best Bet, is here at the bar. Jamie, you look at pro sports betting in the football. I'll just take the football world. I don't really follow the other sports as far as the lines go and whatnot, but I do occasionally check out the lines each and every week. College football, NFL football. Look, they don't get it right every single time, but man, they get it right more times than not. Is it strictly just data? I mean, how does Vegas get it done? I mean, are they in? Look, let's be honest. Are they in on the inside? Are they telling a guy to drop a ball? Are they telling a guy to miss a block? I mean, does that go on still, or?
The latter part there, Tom, I really can't say. Do I believe that they're on the inside telling a guy to drop a ball in the fourth quarter? I absolutely do not believe that.
I think they used to, right? Wasn't that part of the mafia's whole deal? Get into somebody.
It's alleged, and there's probably some truth somewhere in the middle.
Listen, let me cut in real quick. So, Henry Hill, right, from Goodfellas.
Yes.
He was part of the. He was running the thing at Boston College with the basketball players, and they were in big trouble.
I've seen the 30 for 30.
Yeah, the 30 for 30 on it, right? So there was back there. There was some of that. Now maybe it doesn't happen today, but obviously,
I think I don't believe it happens to the magnitude that we had those scandals in the past. Although recently we knew of the NBA official who was involved in that. Recently we talked about that. What I believe, and to some of that I do know, we've been hearing in football, just at the organizational level, for the Jaguars, probably since Shad bought the team, the data analytics. Data analytics is, Vegas has been doing data analytics for years. They've been ahead of that curve. That is the biggest piece of it. But also, they are on the inside as well, not from the standpoint of trying to influence the outcome of games between, some sporting activity or the lack thereof during a unit. But if you've ever seen the movie Casino with
yeah.
Robert De Niro,
Yeah,
so you know that.
Sam Rothstein.
Sam Rothstein,
Yeah, hell yeah.
before he took over the casino,
Yeah.
he moved the line with his knowledge.
Right.
It's information is the power.
Right.
And he did his research. He
Who's
had people,
hurt, who's not feeling good,
who
whatever.
was the boyfriend broke up with his girl,
That's
with his
right.
girlfriend.
That's right.
You know, he's got a little coke problem that just
Right.
started back.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
they know.
Right.
They still use that quote brick and mortar type network to get additional things that lay over the analytics.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and they're good.
Yeah, they're very
That's
good.
their business.
Obviously, they have to be good, or they lose all the money.
They would go out.
They can't lose; they'd be out of business, and then
Yeah.
we'd have some big trouble in Little China across the board. But look, just in perspective, we're talking about pro sports betting in football. Comparing it to a big fight, boxing, MMA, that's kind of a different animal, right? As we're speaking, that's big, millions and millions and millions of dollars are waged, and the Super Bowl is too. Don't get me wrong, but you see these UFC fights. There's a lot of money being spread around.
And here's the thing: we talked about that off air, and that is, you got two people in a ring, and the purse money, the thing, it's already guaranteed. You know what it's going to be. There's a certain amount. So this guy's going to get $100 million. This guy's going to get 60.
Yep.
Now, people say, well, why would the guy who's making, why would he lay down to this guy per se for whatever? But you know what? Depending on things that are happening, he may make another $30-40 million, on something that's wagered that it could influence the outcome of the game.
Right.
It's more easy in an event where there's one event like that and there's one pool of money to influence the outcome, because when a football game, you got so many variables.
Right.
You reduce the number of variables, you increase the ability to influence the outcome.
Yeah, right.
That's the math equation for them.
No, right,
Yeah,
you're right.
exactly
It's like statistics, right?
Yes.
It probably is all math, and they just take a probability and they're like, hey, we can't lose here. We're in this window, and that's where we're going, right? And that's how you said they collect in the middle.
Too many. That's why I remember seeing the 30 for 30 on Boston College back then. I saw that about a year ago. I remember it. But You had more than you had several of the players involved. You had Robert Hill Henry Hill was behind all this, and it's amazing that those things, though, when you get more than many variables, you also increase the likelihood of things coming unraveled.
All right, cool. Hang on. We got Peter Litsky from Army Navy Outdoors joining us next here on the Horse's Mouth at Tommy Max on Buzz TV. Stay tuned.
This is a Clydesdale. Despite what you see in the commercials, he doesn't play football. He won't bring me a cold one, as much as I wish he would. He does not fall easily in love with his kitty cat pals, of which he has none. He's just really good at being a horse on this ranch. I run with help from my banker at Synovus, Bank of Here. Really, Bruce?
All right, welcome back to the Horse's Mouth here at Buzz TV. Now joining me at Tommy Max, Peter Litsky from Army Navy Outdoors, along with Jamie Shelton from Best Bet. Peter, welcome to the show,
Good
bud.
to be here.
Cheers,
Thank you.
my
Cheers.
friend.
I've been waiting for this.
Oh, it's great. Have you? I should have got you some from the back. That would have helped you out. Great to have you on the show, though.
Thank you.
We go a
Thank
long
you.
ways back. I've known you a
We do.
long time back from my radio days, but you've built quite the business at Army Navy Outdoors. So first and foremost, congratulations, because a lot of people don't understand what goes in. Like that, I remember playing. They'd be like, "You just show up on Sunday and play a game." I'm like, "No, there's a lot that goes into it." So I know building a business is a lot like that, right? So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell me, and this goes to both you, from being an owner of your own business, president at Best Bet, how great is it to be in business, a business owner in a city like Jacksonville that continues to grow? It seems like that year in and year out. Peter, I'll start with you.
Well, I'll tell you, I've been here 26 plus years.
Wow.
So I've really seen Jacksonville change.
Yep.
I mean, as I don't know if you remember the
Yeah,
far back here, right?
Absolutely.
And so from that transition and watching that and being here in Jacksonville, you really, from that point, got a chance to meet and be in the community, make a difference in the community. I see people in my store now as adults that say, I've been shopping here since I was 8 years old.
That's great.
And that's awesome to me. So in that and being here and doing business in Jacksonville, like I said, I think you can really make a difference. And you can really contribute and get out there versus being in a huge market.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we're such a tight-knit community, you know. It's so unique. I love it. I really do. I mean, being from Chicago, went to Boston College, you know, big cities. Came here in '95. It was a little small at first. I was like, you know, but then, I mean, to raise a family, to be in business and a growing, there's not a better place to be, I don't think.
I agree with you. It's a great town, and I've only been here about 18 years.
Okay.
So a little shorter term, but I don't really have much to add on his comments, because I think what it is we continue to grow, and we are that small kind of neighborhood community that's beginning to grow. We know our roots is based in the military here in Jacksonville. We had 2 stations here forever, so we had that, and we've kind of grown in that and embraced that and grown from that. But as we continue to grow, and when the Jaguars came in '95, that was another impetus kind of growth coming in.
Absolutely.
But as we continue to be successful in our businesses and be invested as being here for many years, it does. What to add on is it gives us the ability to give back to the community and continue that growth.
Right.
Because we don't all grow at the same rate.
That's right.
And the fact that we've been successful in our respective businesses, some haven't. You know, so there are lots of needs, and the more we can come together and then support our community, the better it's going to be for all of us.
And you guys are neighbors in your respective businesses,
We are.
which I didn't know that coming in. So that's
And this
small
wasn't planned.
town, right? Yeah, no, it wasn't planned, right? So that's kind of neat. But do you feel like being in this kind of community, Peter, that, you know, it's almost not your duty, but you should help other business owners if you can, because you've been through it? Right, you've I'm sure been through the ups and downs to where you are today. I mean, is it kind of like not an unwritten code, but you know, hey, you know what? If I can help somebody, you know, make a connection, make an introduction, something like that, you're willing to do it.
Absolutely, and we do that in a couple different ways in our business too.
Yep.
And whenever somebody comes to me and says, I have a new product, I invented it, I get a lot of this from the military guys.
Sure.
And they just want a test, or they want to help, I said, put it in the store. Let me send out some emails. Let's put it online. See what we can do, just to give you that lift. Because I remember when I started, and just like that, I think you have to be there and be available. And it's not just to make a dime. It's to say, if you can be successful and I can help, I'm just thrilled to do it.
So with the Jags having such a big presence, when the Jags win, do more people come into Best Bet?
Let me just say this, and I probably shouldn't say this publicly, but we've been here for a while, off the air, enjoying a nice
horse's mouth.
nice a cold beer together. The Jaguars, you won't find a bigger supporter. We've been supported from day one. We all know how important they are to the community. Now, and with all due respect to Mr. Weaver and the prior ownership, they were fabulous. We have a guy who's one of the richest people in the entire world. And we want to ride that horse as long as we can, with all respect to Mr. Khan. But to that point, my business is better if the Jaguars aren't in town. When they're playing, nobody in my room, and my numbers are down. So let's just throw it out there that from the horse's mouth, from my business model, the Jaguars playing is not good for me.
How about you? I mean, it's got to be the same, right? Feeling the game, right?
Yeah, same thing.
Close on Sunday, whatever.
You know, we don't close on Sundays, but
even when the Jaguars are 3-13, it's not great for me because they'll still go down there and they'll tailgate, and they may not even go to the game when they were that bad. But still, and I say that honestly, but to answer your question, but obviously we're certainly willing to make that sacrifices for the things that Jaguars they do for our community.
Speaking of Shad Khan, I mean, everything that he has plans for this city it helps everybody. Right, doesn't it? I mean, it helps you, it helps you, it helps me.
You saw the thing yesterday, the convention center plan.
Yeah, fantastic.
Their proposal. I mean, and the thing that people forget to realize, and people still have kind of a negative view, that over the years people feel they've been slighted by the old guard, kind of the same people, kind of taking taxpayers' money and never doing anything. Yet this guy is a businessman, and he wants his share of things that are available to him, but at the same time, he's got the moxie, he's got the brand, and he just gets it done. I mean, they built that amphitheater in less than a year?
Yeah, absolutely.
They said they're going to do it, and all of a sudden they built it, and they're done.
Yeah, well, money talks. Here you go. You got to get taken care of.
And you have to do something with these spaces. I mean, they've been debating back and forth all this time, so for somebody like him to come in and take action, I think the city needs it.
I tell you what, I also got to give a lot of credit to Mayor Curry, because he's pro-growth too. You know, he wants good things for this city, so I got to throw that out there. Hey, thanks for coming on board, man. Really appreciate it. Cheers on the way in. Cheers on the way out on the horse's mouth. And I I appreciate you coming on. Real quick, what's coming up next at your Best Bet? We got a new poker tournament coming, or what's happening?
The next big event, yes, we do a big event, about $2 million guaranteed poker tournament every year. It comes up in October this year. That's the next big thing on the horizon.
Okay.
That's when Tony Miles and some of our other people
Yeah.
that we've talked off air
Fun
that went to
watching him,
Vegas are coming into play. So we bring a lot of professional poker players and their bounties, and people
Okay.
get to play with them. I liken it to kind of like when if Tom Brady were to come in here today. I mean,
Yeah.
we could sit around here and we could just
Pick his brain.
and just
Yeah,
talk
heck
and
yeah.
drink beers. Poker players are the same way with these guys that go out there
That's
and play.
cool.
So it's big for our local market, and we're looking forward to that.
All right, great. Thanks for coming on board.
Tyler,
All
thank
right,
you.
Peter, you hang in there. You got more to come right here on The Horse's Mouth on Buzz TV. Brought to you by All right, time now for Up Close and Personal. Peter Litsky from Army Navy Outdoors stays around here with me at Tommy Max. Peter, great to have you once again, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time, back when I was doing
Yeah.
radio and you were growing your business. And again, congrats on all this success. You know, when you talk about Army Navy Outdoors, what's the philosophy? What's the message behind your business that you want people to understand out there? You know, if they're looking for what they want to go to Army Navy Outdoors. What is it?
Well, the message is, and we talk about this all the time, is getting the right products. So everything we carry and everything we do has a function to
Okay.
it. So we really take a lot of time in training and picking the merchandise that we sell to meet the needs of somebody specifically.
Okay.
And I'm very, we do a lot of training to make sure that it's not. We don't want to put somebody in the expensive thing. We want to put them in the right
That's right.
gear.
Right.
Find out what they're using for, what their job, their hobby, and
Okay.
pick it. So I think our sort of slogan on the inside is the right gear for the right guy.
And it's not
girl.
it's not just outdoor, hunting, fishing. It is that, but it's also working, right? You told me
Right.
what are you, the number one seller of work boots in the country? Is that
No, in Jacksonville, and we're
Jacksonville?
the largest timberland dealer in North Florida,
Right.
and so work boots and industrial footwear is
Okay.
a huge part of our business.
Military,
also.
of course.
Military, of course, and that's our roots, and
Yep.
and that's what we have a lot of fun with.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So when you said before that military guys will want to try out something they created or something they think could work.
Sure.
What are a couple of those? Just out of curiosity, what?
Sure. Like right now, we're testing a stove, and it's a steel stove that basically lays flat, and you put it together, and it sucks in all the air and can burn anything.
Wow.
And so you take that camping, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden you have this great big fire you can cook on in a real small, or high heat fire in a real small place.
Wow.
So
That's
things
neat.
like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
right,
around,
right,
but somebody
yeah.
locally built it in their shop. And things like that all the time. Different trigger systems
Yeah.
for weapons.
Okay.
All kinds of neat stuff we come across.
So a lot of tactical.
A lot
for
of
you
tactical.
guys,
That's
right?
a big
Yeah.
part of our business. Also,
Right.
a lot of clothing, a lot of tactical, a lot of footwear.
Okay.
And the outdoors, of course, and I got into it myself as bushcrafting,
Okay.
and that's always fun. And going
Yeah.
out into the woods and just learning how to survive.
Wow.
And it's neat skills to have, and
Wow.
it's fun.
What are you, Bear Grylls?
no.
You like his cousin or
No,
something?
we have some guys that do it.
No kidding.
And if you
That's
ever
a great show, by the way. I do like that.
if you ever it's if you go into the woods and learn to make a bow drill,
Yep.
and it's a skill, and
Right.
it's sort of like, and it's like somebody would play golf.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You know, you find the right wood, you get the bark, you
Yeah.
make your cinders.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
I
you
would,
just do fun stuff.
man, I'm just not. I would struggle out in the wilderness. You'd have to come with me. You'd bring me all this
come.
stuff. Just tell me how to use it. I'm good. But
Yeah.
prior to that, I am screwed. Well, listen, the Horse's Mouth, our tagline, sports meets business meets
Right.
life. You're a marathon runner. You're done the Ironman. How do you, I believe sports, I made a joke earlier, football is everything.
Right.
Sports teaches you a lot about life, right? You the push,
Absolutely.
right? The grind, the overcoming, the persevering, the winning,
Right.
the losing, all of it. Just like you go through in business, right? You go through in life. But does that part of your life help you in business? When you're competing and training for those types of grueling races that they are?
100%.
Really?
It's
Why?
most of it or all of it is mental. It's your body can do it if your mind tells it to. and it's pushing past that pain, and it's pushing, and and I think it's being dedicated, because you have to get up every morning and do the workout.
That's right.
Because the race is going to be there whether you're ready or not. So all of that, and a lot of the guys that I've always done this with, and is the same way, and they've used that and said, if you can do this, you can really accomplish so many things. And
I had my very first football coach. He had a line that said, what the mind can conceive, the body will achieve, and those who remain will be champions. I have to say that you're a champion.
Well,
because
thank you.
You've grown,
Thank you.
and you've succeeded, and you've done everything that you had to do to make it happen.
Well, thank you. And in business, it's like an Ironman.
Yeah, it is.
It's long. It's grueling sometimes. And you just have to fight it out.
That's right. That's right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Well,
here.
thank you.
How can people find Army Navy Outdoors, whether it's coming into your store or online?
So they can find us at armynavyoutdoors.com. Or we're on Monument Road, just north of Atlantic. And our phone number is 725-5000. Easy to remember.
Awesome. Peter, thanks so much.
Great to see you.
Yeah, it was awesome. Cheers. On the way out. There you go. All right. More to come right here. We'll wrap up this edition of The Horse's Mouth right here on Buzz TV.
What makes the Tom Bush Family Dealership so special?
It's because we treat our customers like family.
Knowing that you're being taken care of genuinely, you know, and you can tell.
We make sure everyone gets what they need, and we try to make it fun.
You know, once you're in a CX-9, that's it. You're just destined to own one of those for the rest of your life. So.
And you're happy.
Oh, extremely.
We invite you to join our growing family.
Visit one of our 7 locations today and experience the Tom Bush difference.
Brought to you by
wird mir ums Herz so wohl. Ich schau ins tiefe Tal hinab ins schöne Land Tirol. Ich seh die weißen Nebel ziehen, die Sonne scheint ins Gwent.
All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of The Horse's Mouth. I want to thank Jamie Shelton from Best Bet. That was really cool, talking about, pro sports gambling, gambling in general. And, of course, Peter Litsky from Army Navy Outdoors. Man, just 2 great Jacksonville businesses that are doing well, and that's a good thing for our community. I hope you had a great time watching the show. It's football season, like I said earlier. It's my favorite time of the year, and I know a lot of you out there as well. We're going to cheer on our Jags. Know this, though, on this show. Look, I want nothing more than for them to win it all. But we're going to give it to you straight like I always do. If they're not playing well, I'm going to have to say something, right? But I expect this team to do very well. It's an exciting time to be a Jacksonville Jaguar and a Jaguar fan out there. So I'll look forward to seeing you out at the games. We got games coming up right here in Jacksonville preseason, then the regular season. We'll cover it all right here on The Horse's Mouth. So that'll do it for us this week, Jacksonville. Stay cool out there and make sure you're safe. We'll see you next time right here on The Horse's Mouth from Tommy Max on Buzz TV.